Now, today I would like to talk about an upcoming shift that is going to happen astrologically when Pluto is going to enter Aquarius in March. And it's going to first kind of go into Aquarius and then go back into Capricorn for a while. And then next year will become stationary in Aquarius. Currently, Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. And when Pluto first entered Capricorn, we saw immediately in 2008 that Pluto started revealing to us, or the energetic kind of workings of Pluto that I understand to happen when Pluto entered a sign, started moving and revealing to us, or humanity started becoming aware of all the dirt that our current established systems, which is what Capricorn is about, establishing working systems, practical systems, and kind of making a path to the top to establish itself. That's kind of Capricorn's mode, and Pluto started revealing that currently humanity has systems in place that are structured from the bottom to the top, and power is being funneled to the top, and that the systems that we have are shaky. And we started seeing that with the economical crisis in 2008 in the United States. Um, and then throughout the time that Pluto was in Capricorn, we started seeing things like, the LGBTQ community starting to get more of a voice. And it became evident that there's oppression and the current systems aren't serving everybody. And we had Black Lives Matter, through a very violent, one of many violent incidents that made it to the media. We started becoming aware more that the Black community has been oppressed for so long. And finally, there was more of, an opportunity for the Black community to be heard. And we had COVID-19, obviously, where Pluto and Saturn actually conjuncted in Capricorn, and we had an intensification of limitations, of fear, of, all those topics of Saturn, and it affected our political structures and our economy as well. And all these things happened because when Pluto enters a sign, you have to understand that whenever Pluto shows up, Pluto basically does two things. First, Pluto will kind of go into the dirt and dig out all the skeletons in the closet and start talking to us and showing us, look, this is not in order, and this is not working, and this is weak, and you guys got to clean this shit up. And on the other side, or also, Pluto is going to intensify the topic of the sign and empower in that sign, or empower people with the topic of that sign. So we have seen both things happening throughout the last, since 2008 until now, that on the one hand, we've become aware of the current systems that are established, the kind of the pyramid that we've created. We're starting to realize that this is not working. It's not serving everybody. It's not serving the earth. It's not serving all the people. It's not serving the people on the bottom. It's only really serving the people on the top. And of course, that's Capricorn's mode. Capricorn wants to get to the top and wants to establish a system that works for itself and creates wisdom and street smart, kind of, to then be on the top. And if people are willing to learn from it, then it's happy to teach, and it's happy to give wisdom. But yet still, Capricorn climbs the mountain, rises out of the ocean as the sea goat, establishes itself. But then if we stay there, and if our systems just stay there, and only the people on the top, and all the power is being funneled up basically to the people who are ruling, then we have a problem, because it's not going to serve the collective. It's not going to serve the whole of humankind. And that is why I'm so hopeful for this transition that's about to happen, where Pluto is going to enter Aquarius. Pluto, really, the energetic movement that Pluto will hopefully intensify in Aquarius once we enter out of Capricorn, is that instead of power being funneled up in Capricorn, where the goat goes up and then establishes itself. In Aquarius, there's two things that happen basically. First, we have the water bearer that pours out the water, and that's part of the symbol of Aquarius. And what happens there is that, the wisdom and the life and the um, all that good stuff that in Capricorn people collected and held in the storehouse, basically, of their power position, and the people with wisdom, the people with control, that's going to be poured out. It's going to go from the top down, and it's going to start filling the pool of humanity, of society. And that is the other symbol for Aquarius, is the waves, the pool, so I understand it, is going to fill. And so there's movement down and spreading. And the main word I have in mind for all this is that we will shift maybe from using all these things for capital. I think capital is a really good word for the Capricornian energy. Going from capitalism or capital understanding of, we need to establish, each needs to establish his own work or whatever, toward progress. That now it's going to be more like, okay, the capitalism has served us so far. It's done its thing. Capitalism really has served certain purposes. People are established. People have the means to funnel power toward progress and technology and science and everything. That has happened. The goods have been brought into the storehouse. Now, the people who have the power need to start rethinking, okay, now, what do we do with all this power? What do we do with this established water in the jar now that we have? Um, Now we're going to pour this out onto the people. And it's going to be more about progress, because progress is really what power is about in the end of the day. Um, Whenever you see, if you look at the cycle of history and you look at human history in general, power has this movement to it where it establishes itself. The tower is built, and you establish your town basically. Um, you establish the place that you want to put your foot down, and then you start spreading, right? If you look at the foundation of cities or whatever, especially in the olden days, they established the capital, and then it would spread. It would increase in size. And so the movement was first putting the flag down or whatever, and then power will spread out. And, power will be utilized to spread. So I'm assuming we will go toward a more globalized understanding of the human race, that we will stop thinking in tribes, but we will start thinking, okay, we're all one pool, and the pool needs to be filled. Everyone needs to get their share. Um, of course, people will immediately get afraid and say, oh, communism, socialism. But I think it's not going to be that radical. I think it's going to be um, a movement from capitalism towards something more progressive, um, in a slower kind of pace. But I'm hoping that by the end of this period, things like universal healthcare, universal basic income, universal shelter, basic rights for people to have the essential needs and the essential requirements for human life, that those things will be secured for people, that those things will not be something that anybody needs to worry about. And that on that foundation, we can then start, living our lives. And that existential dread and fear, um, because it has been shaken up by COVID, it has been shaken up by the, economy, it has been shaken up by the realization that the planet is, we're doing something to the planet that's going to affect all of us. Um, this global mindset of humanity has kind of more become a reality. We start thinking more like, okay, maybe we need to do things differently, because we all need to have the right to not be afraid. We all need to have the right to not wake up in the morning and be worried about if we're going to make it another day. I think we're way past that. That's not necessary anymore. So, yeah. So this is the first video of my channel, and it was a good start for me to you realize, you know, I want to start talking about these things. I want to, you know, in general, I like to talk about astrology, and things that happen in the world, things that might happen in your life, and the correlation between that and what's happening in the sky and in astrology. And yeah, I just thought I start my channel off with this topic because I'm really hopeful, and I really think that going forward, I just want to keep an eye on these events and how things progress. And yeah, that's the reason for this first video. But in general, this will be a place for people to come and listen and hear about astrology, hear about cosmology, hear about, you know, philosophy, whatever comes to my mind. But the main focus will be astrology because that's my expertise. And yeah, so I hope this video helped you somehow, or maybe raised some questions or thoughts in you. And I'd be happy to discuss those in the comments below. And also drop a like if you like and subscribe. Okay, thank you guys. Have a good day.